Hello, my name is Laura Keyes, and this is a short clip of my illustrated lecture, Becoming Mrs. Lincoln, The Difficulties and Rewards of Portraying an Historic Figure. I am often asked, how do I become Mrs. Lincoln or any of the historic women that I portray? Well, it comes down to 3 points: research, delivery, and costume. In the late autumn of 2008, I began writing my own presentation on the life of Mary Lincoln. I continued my reading and research that I had begun earlier that year and soon decided to set this presentation on the evening of April 14th, 1865, as Mary is preparing to leave for the theater. That was a very good point in history to set a presentation because this was the last time in her life that Mary Lincoln was almost entirely happy. In order to create a realistic and vivid presentation, I spent lots of time reading many different books on the Lincolns. Starting in the fall of 2008, I began to amass my Lincoln library, which has steadily grown ever since. Many of you might wonder why I rely so much on secondary sources. My answer to that question has a few different parts. First of all, the time and travel implicated in such an endeavor to research all of those primary sources has not always coincided with the rest of my life. Secondarily, researching the primary sources does not always fit with the overall purpose of my presentations. I do not tend to be a historian, I am a living history presenter. I'm also researching daily life, Americana, and that includes artifacts. Researching never really stops, by the way. When I enter a museum, even ones that I perform in, I always see something new, and every little bit of knowledge can be tucked away and used sometime in the future. I look at antiques in different ways. How was this used? When was it used? Where was it used? How often each day was this item used? I also work on delivery, which is my second main point. And to include that, I read diaries, I read letters of the time to get a personal perspective of history, not just the diaries or letters of the people that I am portraying, but those of other people, the contemporaries, whether they knew them or they just lived at the same time in the same general area. I've read Mary Chestnut's Civil War, which of course that was started about the same time Lincoln was elected. Elizabeth Keckley's book, Behind the Scenes, 30 Years a Slave and 4 Years in the White House, was very helpful, even with the controversy surrounding it. Costume, as well, is incredibly important. More research is done on the costume. Once again, the research never ends. Photographs are the most reliable in order to find accurate information on costumes of the period. However, Godey's Lady's book is very helpful, not only for their lovely prints, most of the time in color, but just to read through that magazine to understand what ladies of the time would be reading about and try to imagine which of the articles they would be most interested in. That gives me an idea of the mindset of these ladies, which is what I am striving for when I am actually portraying them. This is just a short clip of my illustrated lecture, Becoming Mrs. Lincoln. If you would like more information on this, please contact me through my website listed on the screen. Thank you very much.